So it's
How
so
are you?
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes. So we talked about maybe interviewing you today about
hmm
your art career, and you. Is there anything you want to share right off the bat that just you want me to know right away?
As a quick summary of my life as an artist, I started when I was 5, started painting. My dad was a painter and his dad was a painter. And
Wow.
so he got me into painting really young, and he still has my paintings from when I was a kid. And
Um,
I always knew I wanted to be an artist, but I didn't really take it seriously until I'd say in high school. I
mhm.
took one class with an awesome artist, Catherine Ghost, and she really humbled me because I drew well at that time, but I was very like illustration, like kids doodles, and she
Yeah.
was like, you need to look at Basquiat,
Yeah.
because your style is kind of collage, kind of mixed
Uh-huh.
media, but it's very juvenile. And I was like, oh, that hurts. But then I looked at Basquiat and I was like, this is completely
Mhm.
what I feel when I paint.
Mhm.
So ever since then, I took it really seriously. I studied his technique. Didn't want to copy his style because I've seen
Mhm.
that's popped up so much in the recent years.
Right.
Um, but I started learning his way of working and how it's very vulnerable and in the moment.
Mhm.
And ever since then, I've been taking it so seriously. And James Holmes, I believe his name is,
Yes.
I found his art and he spoke to me about his art as well. And he was like, you need to start talking to art dealers and making bigger paintings and taking
Mhm.
risks. And that's everything from there went
Wow.
up.
That's fantastic. So tell me, as far as the piece you submitted for the social justice contest, is this something that you've been watching for a while and you felt compelled to paint, or was there some other catalyst behind it?
Um, it was the end of June, I would say, was when I started. I've always done like social justice
Mhm.
topics,
Mhm.
more focused on feminism and being
Right.
raised in like a sexist home. But
Oh.
when everything happened in late June
Mhm.
in Minnesota, I was really struck by how America reacted. And
Mhm.
it was something I hadn't seen before. And I really I don't want to say I liked the chaotic energy of everyone, but I did like the passion that I was seeing.
Yeah.
And that's what compelled me to paint that. And I actually was inspired also by David Cho at the time, who's
Mhm.
a painter, and he does very like chaotic, colorful brushstrokes, and I really love them. And I felt like that tied in perfectly with the energy of the moment,
Mhm.
how everyone was fighting for justice, fighting out of anger, out of
Mhm.
pain and anguish, but make it more hopeful and
Mhm.
beautiful, because it is beautiful that everyone was uniting at that point in one way or another. And
Right.
that's why I painted it in that way.
Uh-huh. So when you completed it, did you go, "Oh my gosh, what
I
have I
was,
done?"
yeah, I was really happy. Because I hadn't done art for like a little while before I did that. I was doodling and things, but it wasn't doing anything too serious. And when
Mhm.
I did that, it just felt so, it was like so satisfying. It was like I expressed myself perfectly at
Mhm.
that moment. And just the colors and the way everything came together, it's,
Mhm.
when you're painting and it's just exactly what you think it was going to be. That was kind of
Yeah,
how it felt. It was exactly what I was thinking in my head was what I ended up painting. So the whole time I was like, yes, I love this. And I didn't stop until I finished.
that's rare.
It's so rare. That's why I was so
Yeah,
excited and I kept
that's
going.
that's wonderful. So tell me about your journey since then.
Since then, I have nonstop been making new pieces every day. Um,
Fantastic.
yeah, I've been doing a lot of digital work because just of all the, moving, stores closing,
Mhm.
everything. So I've been doing a lot of digital artwork on my tablet and with my pen. And I try to do it every single day because ever since that, I've felt the same motivation and I don't want to lose it.
Oh,
So
that's beautiful.
I'm trying to keep myself in practice. And then it's it's made me more brave with my artwork and being able to enter it into things like this contest. Like last year, I don't think I would have ever thought that I could win anything with my artwork. I would have felt a little less vulnerable, I'd say. I want people to see my vulnerability this year and to see my artwork. So I've been entering things left and right and making new pieces for them, and
That's
just
great.
really excited. Thanks.
Fantastic. How many other pieces do you have that speak to these protests? You said you've been doing other work.
I'd say probably 5 to 6 that are directly speaking to it.
Wow.
A lot of my other pieces directly speak to the same topics, but not the same events. So I'll explore my own personal experiences with something that is equally as troublesome, or a lot of things that I noticed. I have a huge focus in my art on my father, and I have a complicated relationship with him, but his growing up was very telling of how he is now. So I always end up doing biographical pieces of him by accident. So I have a lot of those, and those kind of speak directly to injustices in Chicago that people deal with quite often. So I tend to focus on Chicago primarily, or my own personal experiences, but with the protests, I'd say 4 to 5 or 4 to 6 pieces.
Wow. That's amazing. I'd love to see those. So you're getting ready for a show, correct? So tell me a little bit about that.
I'm so scared about that. So that is, that's the first huge thing that I applied for that I was like, there's no way I'm being accepted. So I might as well try, because I was thinking it's going to be no, so why not try? So I entered.
What was this? Can you tell me about?
Yeah, so it's the Tokyo International Art Festival. And it says they choose 100 artists. So that's why I was like, there's no way that I can possibly, just starting out, get into this. And a day later, they answered and said, congratulations. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, crap.
Wow. And what piece did you enter for that?
So I entered 7 to 8 pieces. You just kind of email in your current portfolio, and it was a series of half digital and half real canvas that I painted on. Very autobiographical pieces, kind of like diary entries.
Wow.
In the like Basquiat technique. And I did not expect anything to come of it, and they answered so quickly. And now I'm planning my pieces for those, kind of trying to find a theme if I can. And I have until June, but I want to get out there soon for my studio space that I applied to, so I can paint there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping inspiration will.
Oh, it will. I'm sure it will. In your piece, you have the Black Liberation flag behind the flags, along with the brighter colors of hope. Would you like to elaborate on this imagery?
Yeah. So the piece itself was directly taken from videos I've seen of the protests, particularly in Minneapolis, just like all of the flames and the fires. And obviously the focus of that was inequality with Black people and against police brutality. So I really wanted to center the focus on that and not direct a conversation to any other issue at that time, because I feel like when we are confronting something so unfamiliar to us and so also controversial, that it was very important to say to the viewer, this is what this painting is about, and we need to confront the situation finally instead of avoiding it.
Right.
And it was also a message to myself to just like keep focus on why these things are happening and where the anger is coming from, because at that time everyone was questioning why people were so angry, and I felt like it was so important to remind them, if you were in this situation, I feel like you would be just as angry. So it's kind of just like a slap in the face to people who might be forgetting, and to myself, so I don't lose sight of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Were you able to participate in any of the protests personally?
At that time in Chicago, I was not.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter she was 1 year and 2 months. So I wanted to make sure I was home with her. Yeah. And then COVID was pretty bad at that time in Chicago. So I didn't get to personally go, but I was able to send tons of emails, make tons of phone calls, do the donations to everyone. Yeah. So that was the most I could do.
That's fantastic. So how does winning this contest change your perspective or your life or your ideas about your artwork?
It was so amazing to, first of all, see the votes and the support, and to put my art out there and receive all these messages and compliments. And like I said before, this year I really didn't put myself out there so much. So this is like the big wake up call to take risks, like James Holmes said, and put myself out there and telling me I do have talent that maybe I didn't want to see before, or I don't have imposter syndrome anymore, is kind of the thing that I've been trying to get past, is that I can do this, and I can take on art as a full time thing if I really work hard at it. And this year has been so crazy, and my ability to keep working hard has shown me. It's been really humbling. So I really, really appreciate it.
That's so wonderful. So have you picked a nonprofit yet?
I did. I wasn't sure if I had to email you guys, but so when I was pregnant, I used to volunteer. It's basically you tutor, you play with the games with children, students that come after school, and it's to keep them safe while their parents are at work late, for the more impoverished areas where parents have to work overtime or full-time, and their kids end up being home alone or get into the wrong things. So it was just to keep them in a positive mindset. And it was so much fun. And I was pregnant at the time, and they were so nice to me. They'd come and hug my tummy, and I was like, oh, sweetest kids ever. So I remembered them when I was thinking about the organization I wanted to donate to, and that's who I want to give to. It's Off the Street Club.
Off the Street Club. Okay. Are they a Chicago?
Yeah, it's Chicago based.
Okay.
I think they run entirely on donations and volunteering.
Okay.
I used to donate a lot to them after I stopped volunteering, but it's been so long, and I'm so glad I remembered, because that was my favorite place to be after work.
That's great. That's wonderful. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Not that I can think of right now. I feel like I talk so much.
Oh, that's what it's for. It's for you to share, not for me to share. Well, it's such a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for participating in Art for Your Cause's first social justice contest.
Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
And I encourage you to become an artist on Art for Your Cause.
I would love to. Yes.
Okay.
I am so excited about that. Yes, please.
All right. Fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you for agreeing to be here today, and it's such a pleasure to meet you. Good luck.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Touch.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.